From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Wednesday's edition of For the People. It's July the 12th. It's 2017. And Donald Trump Jr. telling Sean Hannity last night on Fox News Channel, in retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently. Well, if you could have imagined the witch hunt that the Trumps have been going through, since he's taken the White House, trying to say that there's collusion and that the election was a fraud and had direct help from the Soviets and Putin was involved and the friendship with Putin and all of this crap. But Trump Jr. did a massively terrific job last night. Did you get to listen to some of it? Well, here's a few of those clips so you can hear.
As I recall, it was all basically this email coordination. Let's try to set up a meeting and see what happens, and that it was going to be interesting information. And, in the end, it wasn't about that at all.
No, it wasn't about that at all. But the surprises continue to trickle in. And here's a little bit more of Trump Jr.
The pretext of the meeting was, hey, we have information. And there was, some small talks. I don't even remember what it was. It just was sort of nonsensical, inane and garbled, and then quickly went on to a story about Russian adoption and how we could possibly help. And really, that's where we shut it down, which is, wait a second, what does this have to do with
what?
I'd never even heard of it before, that day. I think it became pretty apparent to, Jared and Paul, who I think Jared left after a few minutes. We were all there. I was basically sitting there listening as a courtesy to my acquaintance who had set up the meeting. And, in his own words, you can hear what he said, and you played it earlier, about it. I mean, he apologized to me walking out of the meeting, basically for wasting my time.
All right, Trump Jr. last night said that this was pre-Russia fever, which it was. This was pre-Russia mania. Trump Jr. said last night on Sean Hannity, he says, I don't think that my sirens went off or my antenna went up at the time because it wasn't the issue that it's been made out to be over the last 9 months, 10 months. However, the president's eldest son also described the meeting as a nothing. He's adding that I wouldn't have remembered it until you started scouring through the stuff. It was just it's just a wasted 20 minutes, which was a shame. And folks, that's what the interview consisted of, 20 minutes, and that was it. And the interview constituted the first public statement by Donald Trump since he posted what he called the entire email chain of his conversation with music publicist Rob Goldstone, setting up the June 2016 meeting with Natalie Venezuela on Twitter. So in one of his messages, Goldstein told Trump Jr. that Russian officials were offering some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary as part of Russia and its government support for Mr. Trump. Trump's Jr. response email read, in part, if it's what you say, I love it. But it looks like WikiLeaks actually got much more information out of the whole deal because it wasn't Trump Jr. and it wasn't the Trump administration that put that stuff out. But what was it going to link Trump now and Trump Jr. to Julian Assange and said that he copied and CC'd his email to him? I mean, how bizarre would that be? But they're not doing that. And if Trump Jr. had anything to, I don't know, that people say, well, why didn't he just, because of all the Russian stuff like that, so there wouldn't be the appearance or anything like that, is because the New York Times, whatever, the press got leaked information of the email, that there was an email chain. And so as a result, before it came out into the newspapers, Trump Jr. just decided, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out here. I didn't think it was all that big of a deal because, again, nothing came of it. They said there was something there because they started talking about other things that weren't pertinent to what this woman promised. And there was just nothing there at all. She's on the television saying that Trump Jr. was a gentleman and all this other stuff. It was short-lived. And it looks like, that the several people in the meeting were on their phones and on computers and just were not too interested in that and really didn't put any stock into what was being said. A lot of people told them a lot of things. But again, nothing came out of it. And again, my first hour, I said, you know what? They're probably going to have Trump Jr. Sworn in, deposition, and the whole deal on Capitol Hill. Again, reliving this whole particular thing in front of cameras and all that other stuff. It'd be a shame. But to me, to put to bed once and for all so we can stop talking about Russia, Russia, Russia. Jeez, I don't even eat beef stroganoff anymore. My mother, I got to tell you, she had given me a recipe for the best beef stroganoff that I tell you the world has ever seen. And just because of all this Russian nonsense from the left, I don't want to eat it. I don't want to hurt the feelings of my mother for not making her beautiful recipe that she shared with me. And everybody that has ever tasted, and I have to do it the way she says because it just doesn't taste the same. It is so good. And there are Russian dishes that are magnificent, but real stroganoff, man, there's a lot of love in that. We're talking the white sauce. We're talking the mushrooms. We're talking real ground beef. And then there's things to kick it up a notch. One of these days, maybe if I get my mom's permission, I might share it. Maybe for the people members. I'll do an email because I can't give it to everybody. It's just one of those, it's exactly very special. And, if you got a mother, you can understand certain things can go and other things are just kind of family tradition. But I'll see what she says about it. And if she's cool with it and she listens to the broadcast, we'll go ahead and we'll kick that out to you and you can enjoy it. But this stuff they got to stop it. There's too many other things that need attention right now, and this is not one of them. And if Vladimir, I don't trust Putin. I don't trust the Russian government one iota. I don't. If they could collude, if they could connive, I don't think that Putin was telling the truth when he met with Trump saying that he had no knowledge. I mean, experts say with computers, with hacking and stuff like that, we know that Russia's been getting into computers, but they've been getting into computers for a long time during Barack Obama's tenure. They've been trying to hack into Bush's computers. I mean, this stuff goes way back. It's not just this. Any meddling that they think that they can do. Folks, what do you think the Russians are famous for? We got spies. They got spies. You ever see the movie Spies Like Us? This continues. And then the compound that they want that's in Maryland, was it Pennsylvania? Well, they have this compound out. They want to come back. We've barred them from it. Basically, it's a punishment. And Trump stands by it. Obama, I think before he left, they were shutting him out. And to me, they knew, but they didn't publicly come out with it and said that they knew that there was meddling going on. But now new reports show, and as most people know, that the Obama administration did know. And for whatever reason, people say the reason was very political, because that they believed that people would say for the right that, see, Barack Obama's meddling with the election and he wanted it, fair and square, but he didn't think that there was really enough influence, enough of anything that Russia was doing to really interfere with the process. And Barack, just kind of knowing his nature of how he kind of operates, I think if he really felt that there was that, and nobody's felt it, that there was interference at the ballot box when people actually voted, that there was any type of fraudulent information or hacking that changed the numbers, other than the dead people that voted. and still didn't make the difference. Yeah, that's been going on during the Clintons, too, when they voted for Bill Clinton. That was a 90s story. If anything good, anything positive comes from all of this with, from other countries that do this and try to meddle in anybody's, I mean, they need to be smacked with some serious penalties. And it'll be interesting to see at the end of this, at the end of the conclusion, how we actually treat Russia. I think they're just still trying to close this thing up once and for all the loose ends. And there's probes on tops of probes trying to, again, find out definitively what in the world happened. And definitively, if it came from the Kremlin, so we can go back and say, we know without a doubt, here's the signatures, here's the stuff. You know, you can't refute it. It's here, and it's front of the world that they lied and that they are liars and they can't be trusted. And then, do we get an apology from Russia after that, or do they deny it? We'll see how far that goes. Baseball superstar Miguel Cabrera, he reached out to he's worn-torn, if you will, because it really looks like a worn-torn Venezuela, his countrymen, to a very heart-wrenching Instagram video. It was posted today, or this Monday, the day before. Okay, pleading with shadowy elements within his country to spare his family while offering to help his people of the collapsing socialist state any way that he can. As the news emerges that Venezuelans are even to the point of rationing toothpaste and widespread food shortages and chronic infection that has sparked protest and fierce and treacherous opposition to President Nicolas Maduro, Cabrera was speaking out on how the country's crises have reached him in the United States. Cabrera, everybody loves him. Great guy, but this is his country, loves his country. He says, I'm tired of hearing that they are going to kidnap my mother. And I don't know whether it's a policeman or a bad guy. I don't know who they are, Cabrera said in Spanish in the video, which was translated by the Detroit Free Press. All I know is if I don't pay these people, they could disappear. Saying he has always been told not to get involved in politics, Cabrera explained that he felt the need to speak up because they have kidnapped our country. Cabrera was referring to the crisis, folks, that are taking place right now, the tens of thousands of protesters demonstrating daily against this socialist president. And just to think how much riches that they have with resources, with oil and gas, and to see how the Venezuelans are suffering, it just totally breaks your heart. Here's one mother's appeal. This will break your heart.
I don't think that I'm going to see him again alive. And that's my biggest fear after watching what family with Otto went through.
No, if that doesn't break your heart, and this people jailed, thrown in jail, and the extortion going for money right now, and that's the deal. They're trying to say, you can't see your mother. We're not going to let you see your parents. We're not going to be able to do that. This is a shakedown. And if you give any negative press or publicity to the socialist, this is the type of things that are going to go on. That's what these treacherous people do, what these madmen do. And this started, under Barack Obama's watch. Thank you very much. We didn't do anything to help the poor people there. Isn't this interesting? And it's very sad for the poor people of Venezuela. Beautiful, beautiful country. I know people from Venezuela, and this just breaks their heart to see their country just in this turmoil right now, and where people are dying. They can't get medical attention. They can't eat. People